So something I was thinking about this week is why there's so many people who seem to kind of like emotionally start wanting to memorize the Quran, but they never finish it or they never even make like decent progress with it. And ironically, I don't think it's the reason that you might be thinking right now in your head. I actually mostly think it's because of the wrong expectation. See, a lot of people think like the motivation will carry them. You feel motivated one particular day to do something, and you think that is actually you, when in reality, that's not you. Because you is essentially how you live most of your days. Whether you're motivated or you're not motivated, you are essentially a culmination of how you live most of your days. And if we're honest, we're not actually really motivated to memorize Quran that often. Usually it comes from discipline. So if you're motivated like once a week, that means the Quran is only a part of you like once a week. The real thing that you want to rely on isn't even necessarily the discipline or forcing yourself to do that, because even that kind of burns out after a while. What you want to rely on, in my experience, is having systems. The same way we do things extremely unconsciously, we brush our teeth at the same time, we eat food even at the same time, we eat like the same types of foods, usually wake up and go to sleep at the same time. It doesn't actually require any thinking or any effort. This is inshallah how you want to make the Quran into your daily life. Because there was so many times where I risked falling off this journey because I was the same way, where I just felt some spike of motivation. I watched some YouTube video, I saw something that like really motivated me to want to memorize. And I would memorize maybe 2 hours a day, and I would think, man, I'm going crazy. And then sooner or later, I just totally fell off. So even though it might seem counterintuitive, it's literally better for you to start memorizing for something like a few minutes per day until it becomes an actual habit that is slipping into your life. Because the Quran journey is long and short at the same time, depending on how you think of it. If you see it as a big task in your life, something that you have to force yourself to do every time, you're probably only going to show up like half the time, and there's going to be so many days that you end up skipping. But if it becomes a system and like a habit in your life, and you're not really thinking about it too much, it's kind of just on autopilot, those 604 pages will just go by way quicker than you might have thought. See, I haven't finished my memorization yet, but sometimes I'm like, wow, I'm already here. It feels like I kind of just started yesterday. And it's because like not until recently, it actually, alhamdulillah, it became more of a system. And the second point as to why I think a lot of people fall off is because they don't actually have a review strategy. You can memorize as much as you want, but if you're not reviewing Quran, you're literally just going to end up forgetting way quicker than you think. They only focus on new pages and let the old ones fade. And this was me for a really long time because I was kind of just trying to stack up the points in my head, like, oh, I made it this far in my memorization, just to, I guess, seem more impressive. But to be honest, it's way more impressive to see how much you have retained than how much you have memorized. Because honestly, to memorize stuff new after a while isn't actually that difficult. The more impressive thing is how much have you actually retained of the Quran? Because we all know that it's way faster to forget than to actually memorize. And the worst part is once you start seeing yourself forgetting more, it kind of demoralizes you and you might not even want to memorize at all after that. And this brings me to the third point, which is isolation, which is when you start seeing yourself forgetting or you're just in any kind of rut in your memorization, there's really no one to pull you up or to pull you out of it. Because if you try doing this alone without a teacher, without a community, you're just making it so much more harder on yourself you don't even realize. If there's no one checking on your mistakes, not only like tajweed mistakes, but just mistakes in general and how you're going about your hifd, your routine, your system about it, it again makes things way slower and makes them way more stressful. At the same time, it's natural, just as humans, you tend to do what the people around you are doing. If you see people around you all memorizing the Quran, it's going to be much more likely that you memorize the Quran. So force yourself to kind of put these systems in place where your entire environment is on that path, even though it might not be reality, to kind of like forcefully manufacture it. Because many of us, if we're living in the Western world, you're going to work in the Western world, you're going to school in the Western world, it's probably really rare that you actually find someone who's on this path. And really the only way that I found a way out of that is manufacturing like online environments to replicate that. Because honestly, everyone I personally know who completed their hifz was either a part of some kind of program or a part of some kind of school where there's other people who are doing that with them. So inshallah, I actually tried replicating that by building our own school community, which right now is more than 500 people in it who are all on this same path. And inshallah, inside of there, you can revise with people, including myself. And on top of that, there's things like courses and tons of tools where you can track your memorization and to just make it a much more efficient process, inshallah. So if you want to join, feel free. The link's in the description. And inshallah, I'll see you inside. Otherwise, assalamu alaikum.